How's it going, guys? I'm here with Ralp Fulton and we are here to talk about Forza Horizon 2. I've had a little bit of hands-on with the game and so far I'm very, very impressed. I love the way you guys have used the triggers, you know, that force feedback to kind of feel out the tracks as you go around corners and stuff. And like you were saying earlier, there's a massive world to explore, tons of cars to drive. How many cars exactly will we be able to play day one?
So there's going to be over 200 cars available for everyone on day one. We're right at the end of revealing all of the cars. We're doing it week by week, so every week up until launch we're going to be revealing more and more of the cars. But
okay.
Everyone's getting over 200 cars, which is a huge number, right?
That is massive out the box there. That's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Were there any cars that you wanted in the game that just couldn't make the list at the end of the day?
Yeah, that always happens. You know, we always start with a huge list. Some cars end up being difficult to source, you know, particularly the rare ones, maybe the older cars, they become difficult to source. But we always have backups, you know, there's always so many cars, we're spoiled for choice. We feel great about the list that we've got in the game.
Okay, cool. And how long does it take? Because I mean, the amount of detail on these cars is mind-blowing. You know, like the interiors are all like almost photorealistic. How long did it take you to basically craft each car? Like what's the...
So you'll be amazed, certainly this generation now on Xbox One, we at Forza rebuilt all our cars from the ground up. They take about 6 months from door to door.
For one car?
For one car,
so it's actually longer than a real car, basically.
Right, and they cost more than a real car to build in the game. That's the level of detail, the amount of complexity that are in these car models. You know,
but I mean, it shows. I mean, they look phenomenal, man. Probably the best car details I've ever seen in a racing game.
It's great, it's worth it then, yeah.
You're well worth it. Track, the world is huge, like you guys were saying earlier. You said, is it how much bigger is it?
Three times, more or less 3 times bigger than Horizon in terms of the sort of space you have to drive in. Yeah.
How long would it take you to drive across?
It's going to take a good old time. It's going to take you a good old time. Yeah. So the conceit of the game is that you're going out on road trips.
Okay.
Basically, you'll go on a road trip around the world. It'll take you from destination to destination to destination. At each destination, as we started to see in your playthrough, you do a championship based on the car you've chosen. At the end of that championship, the winner will be crowned, and then the whole road trip moves on. So you're always moving around the world, you're always seeing new places, and you're always having this opportunity to pick a new car and win a prize.
Okay, cool. Speaking of winning prizes, XP, and like any XP, you know, for my playthrough I've noticed that you can drift and you can earn XP through certain ways. What sort of other ways can we maybe earn XP while hitting the track?
Lots of ways. I mean, we're basically giving you XP for everything you accomplish in the game. So skills is a big thing. We now give you XP based on the skills you show off. Because for us, driving stylishly is as important as winning, right? You know, you can drive stylishly.
You're gonna look good doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, right, yeah. But there's lots of other ways, you know. You participate in races, at the end you'll get some XP based on that. You participate in some challenges, again we'll give you XP. I don't know, you might have noticed as you're playing through, as you discover new roads, as you discover new items, giving you XP for that. So you're always moving forward, you're always progressing. And I don't know if you've had a Horizon wheel spin yet in your playthrough?
No, I haven't had one yet.
You haven't leveled it up yet. Every time you level up, you're going to get a Horizon wheel spin where you get to spin the wheel.
It's like a lottery type
thing.
Yeah.
A fruit slot machine.
That's really cool.
And it'll give you more cash, it could give you a huge cash prize, or you could win one of those 200 cars, you know, so it's another
so you can unlock it straight then and there.
Absolutely, yeah, and then suddenly, hey, you've got a new car that you didn't expect, you know, maybe it's a car you wouldn't even have bought, but you've got it now, so you'll try a championship with it.
You can save some bucks.
And maybe you'll fall in love with it as well, you know?
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, so when I was playing just now, you know, I was obviously, I think I was doing a race, all of a sudden, like, instead of just carrying on the tarmac, I had to cut across the field with some air balloons, like and yeah, I thought that was great that you guys haven't just kept it to the confines of the road, you know, and you can actually explore these vistas and stuff. In terms of the cars themselves, like I know these are all like high spec sports cars, but would there be a noticeable difference when you go off road with, say, maybe like a chunkier vehicle like an SUV type, so like a Lamborghini?
Yeah, absolutely. So Your all-wheel drive cars, obviously, they're going to deal with that rough terrain better. Also, your suspension settings are going to make a difference. More ride clearance you've got is obviously going to make a difference.
Okay.
You go in something really tight, hard suspension, low slung, you're going to struggle a little bit. I mean, we try to even everything out because we don't want anyone to get stuck.
Yes,
there's no fun being in the ditch, right? But yeah, you will definitely see differences between the different cars, and that's one of the reasons in this world that we've got. It's one of the reasons that part of our car list is these extreme off-roaders. You saw in the presentation earlier, Andy was driving a Rally Fighter, which is probably the most extreme off-road car we've ever had before. It's 18 inches of suspension travel at the back. So these cars, they just make sense in our world, right? They encourage you to drive.
Designed for that.
Yeah. So I love that that's kind of a set of cars that are just unique to Horizon.
Okay. So we can expect a lot more rally cars, like rally packs and stuff like that to come out down the line.
So I mean, within the game that you'll buy at the start of October, there's modern rally championships. There's Group B rally cars. There's obviously these extreme off-roaders, SUVs. Lots of ways to explore and enjoy the open world.
Okay. Jeez, tons to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting, the driver tar system that you mentioned earlier. So there's no actual AI in the game. You're not racing against just computer-generated opponents. It's all based on how your friends drive, and it copies their. Am I right in saying that? Copies their drive style.
That's exactly how it works in Forza Motorsport 5. So that system, driver tar system, was introduced in Forza 5, and obviously Forza 5 is a track racing game. So it's brilliant at measuring exactly how you drive, all those like micro maneuvers that you're constantly pulling off, how you brake, how you accelerate, how you pass cars. What we've done is bring that into the open world, and now you can teach your driver tar lots more things, where you go off-road, how you drive off-road, the shortcuts you take, so you're actually teaching it much more than you did in Forza 5, but it's the same principle. So when you've been playing today, you haven't been playing against your friends, obviously, because we don't have any gamer tag.
I have no friends.
You've been playing against my friends, right, but obviously the great thing when you do start to play it at home with your own gamer tag, that you're like, oh, that's my friend. Look at the car he's driving, look at what he's done to it, I love what he's done to it. So there's this real flavour of personality that comes from driving tar that you just don't see in other games.
It's very cool. Let's talk about the weather, because the weather looks amazing. It started raining, I think, in the first section that I had to drive through, and the weather effects are phenomenal. But what makes your weather effects different to, say, any other weather effect system in maybe another racing game out there?
Well, that's a good question. People say to me, people did dynamic weather on the last generation of consoles, and that's absolutely true. I'm not claiming that we've done in doing weather, we've done anything unique.
Just looks really good.
Well, the approach we've taken, and I think the reason it looks really good, is we've taken the approach of real simulation with weather. Distinct from how you might have done it last generation, with quite a lot of fakery, like smoke and mirrors. We actually genuinely simulate the entire atmosphere in the world. So the cloud systems, we simulate the number of particles within the atmosphere that affects the way light comes from the sun through the atmosphere to the ground. It changes the colour of the sky.
It does. There's a lot of effects in the world.
Absolutely. And then we actually simulate, how puddles form, right? So rainwater gathers in cracks and crevices first before it covers the surface.
So you could be a weatherman if you ever lose a job.
I have some serious knowledge in this area now.
That's pretty cool. Okay, your number one car out of the 200 cars, what's your favorite?
Oh man, that's such a good question.
If you had to pick only one.
You think I'd have an answer to this one, right?
You think you would?
Okay, so I'm going to go 1973 Ford Capri, which is new to Forza, kind of a European slant to it. I love that we've got it in. It's just awesome.
It's a very cool car. That's very sweet. And lastly, before we go, I have a special request all the way back from South Africa from one of our team members. He asked if you could say this. His name is Garth, by the way. He says, if you could just say, Garth, we added the driver tires for you, and just, I don't know, he's unique. That's it. So just say, Garth, we added the driver tires for you, I guess. Thanks, Garth.
Garth, we added the driver tires for you.
Thanks. And thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed chatting to you
really
and finding out more about Forza. And we're going to get our hands on it end of September. We actually don't have Xbox One in our country yet.
But it's coming.
But it's 23rd of September. We're going to get it, and I can't wait to get on that tarmac and tear it up. going to be fun.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
No problem.